Jason never thought he had a money problem. He had a steady job, a decent salary, and a comfortable apartment. And whenever he wanted something he couldn't afford immediately, there was always an easy solution. Credit, monthly payments, a television, a new phone, monthly payments, a new sofa, monthly payments. Even his vacation had been booked using a credit card. Each payment seemed small. $25 here, $40 there, $70 somewhere else. Jason rarely worried about them. After all, he could afford the monthly payments. At least that's what he told himself. Over time, his apartment began to look like the home of someone doing very well. A large television hung on the wall. A new laptop sat on his desk. He wore good clothes and drove a car that was newer than he really needed. From the outside, Jason looked successful. But every payday told a different story. His salary would arrive on Friday morning. By Friday afternoon, several automatic payments had already disappeared from his account. Card payment, credit cards, phone, furniture, electronics, subscriptions. By the time Jason paid his rent and bought groceries, there was surprisingly little left. Still, he didn't think he was in trouble. He simply needed to make it to the next paycheck. Then one Tuesday morning, everything changed. Jason arrived at work and noticed people standing quietly near the entrance. His manager called everyone into a meeting. The company had lost a major contract. Hours would be reduced for at least a month. Jason wasn't losing his job, but his next paycheck would be much smaller. At first, he wasn't worried. It's only 1 month, he thought. Then he went home and opened his banking app. For the first time, he didn't look at how much money was available. He looked at how much money was already promised. The numbers shocked him. Before buying food, before paying for electricity, before putting fuel in his car, a large part of his next paycheck already belonged to companies he had bought things from months earlier. Jason took a notebook and began writing. $420, $180 credit cards, $75 phone, $90 furniture, $65 laptop, $48 television. Then came insurance, subscriptions, and several smaller payments. He stared at the page. None of those payments had frightened him when he agreed to them individually. Together, they were suffocating him. For years, Jason had asked himself one question whenever he wanted something. Can I afford the monthly payment? That night, he realized he had been asking the wrong question. The real question was, can I afford the purchase? There was a difference, a big one. The following month was uncomfortable. Jason stopped eating out. He cancelled subscriptions he barely used. He sold a few things he had bought but hardly touched. And instead of using another credit card to cover the shortage, he decided to face the problem. He made a list of every debt he owed. Not just the monthly payments. The entire balances. For the first time, Jason saw the real price of the lifestyle he had created. It wasn't just money, it was freedom. Every purchase from his past was taking a piece of his future income. So he made himself a rule. No more buying something simply because the monthly payment looked affordable. He would first ask, do I need it? Then, can I actually afford it? And finally, what will this purchase prevent me from doing with my money later? Jason didn't become debt-free in a month. It took time. He paid extra toward his expensive debts whenever he could. As balances disappeared, he didn't replace them with new purchases. Instead, he redirected some of that money toward an emergency fund. Slowly, something strange began happening. His apartment didn't become more impressive. His car didn't become newer. His phone wasn't the latest model. But his bank account began growing. And so did his peace of mind. 2 years later, Jason was sitting at the same kitchen table where he had once written down all those payments. This time, there was a different list in front of him. Emergency savings, investments, money set aside for future expenses, and only a small amount of manageable debt. Jason looked around his apartment. Most of the things he once believed would make him feel successful were already old. Some had broken. Some had been replaced. Some he barely noticed anymore. But the financial lesson remained. Credit had allowed Jason to enjoy things before he had earned the money to pay for them. And for a while that felt like freedom. But when his income suddenly dropped, he discovered the truth. A lifestyle built entirely on future paychecks can become a trap when the future doesn't go according to plan. Jason still used credit carefully when it made financial sense. But he never again confused having access to money with actually having money. And before every major purchase, he remembered the month that changed everything. Not because he lost his job. He didn't. Not because he lost everything. He didn't. But because, for the first time, he understood how much of his future he had already spent. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, follow FineWise for more stories about money, better habits, and financial freedom.